What's up? So, last time we talked about some like tuplets. Um, Specifically, we went into, well, last time and the time before, really. So, we talked about eighth notes, which is like a duplet. You get two notes for every beat, one and two and three and four and we can do the same thing with our triplet eighth note. One pull, two pull, three pull, four pull, where we get three. We did 16th notes, which is four. Today, we're going to start with five, and we're going to kind of take a look at five, six, seven, and eight. Six and eight are going to be a little bit easier than five and seven. So let's start actually with six and eight, and then we'll go to five and seven. So 6 is just what a 16th note triplet would be, right? We put 3 in for the 8th note triplet, and we get 2 regular 8th notes. If we double the 2 regular 8th notes, we've got 4, that's 16th note. So if we double the 8th note triplet, we got 6, that's the 16th note triplet. So we can kind of count it a different way. This stuff is where the accents are going to be super important. So with this, we'll start with 1 pull it and pull it, 2 pull it and pull it, 3 pull it and pull it, 4 pull it and pull it. You see how we're counting that? We've got 3 notes between every 8th note as opposed to every quarter note when we're doing 1 pull it, 2 pull it, 3 pull it, 4 pull it. This is 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So this is twice as fast. But it's practice it the same way that we been doing everything else. Bust out the metronome, do the 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 2 3 and 2 3 2, 1 pull it and pull it 2. However you're counting it to make it make sense to you. As long as we're getting 6 notes for every beat, that's it. And going to 8. So, hey, guess what? 2 was the 8th note, 4 was the 16th note. Double that again, we've got 8, and that is the 32nd note. So there, we're going to count this one. Essentially, we've got 2 notes for every 16th note. We've got 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 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 1 E and a 2. That's it. That's the whole thing. So that one really the same thing. 1 E and a 1 E and a 1 E and a, and count it. Get it in there, do the foot tapping, all that stuff. Get it ingrained into yourself, and you can recall it without having to think about it. You'll be able to hear it in your head, and then do it and whatever, and make really awesome music. The weird ones are 5 and 7. So let's go to 5 right now, real quick. We got so for this. When you're learning this one, I recommend counting like hippopotamus, either hippopotamus, 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 or if you're real adventurous, you can count 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5. But I think hippopotamus is a little easier. So we get hippopotamus, 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 hippopotamus. Hippopotamus, hippopotamus 2, hippopotamus 3, same thing. It's gonna be weird, and that one's gonna take some time to get used to if you haven't really gotten into this kind of thing yet. 7 to be honest, I don't have a syllabic equivalent for the septuplet. Counting a septuplet, usually just count it either 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 or 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 or like some combination of either 4 and 3 or 2 and 2 and 3. You know, however it adds up to 7. And you can do that with 5 as well. You can do like 1 2 1 2 3 or 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2. You know, it's all just about figuring out, you know, try it different ways, find what makes the most sense to you and do it that way and get really good at it that way, and then, you know, move on and try it these other ways, because then once you've gotten it really good one way, these other ways are going to make a lot more sense. So, you know, whatever works. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 I think is a pretty easy one for that. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3. You know, you can kind of hear the accents. The accents, man, do it. It will help you keep your place. Just like I said in the last video. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1. You know, really with the tuplets, because of the way that we've gone over with the practicing it and stuff, everything, just do it the same way. Bam. Let's move on to those other ideas, the legato, staccato, and rubato, those articulation ideas. So legato is like, it means like smooth and connected, you know. It's when you are playing and you just kind of, you know, there's not like really any kind of breaks between the notes or whatever. You know, it's your phrase is like flowy and long, you know. Yeah, I mean, you can play legato fast. It doesn't have to be slow like that, you know. There's not space in between the notes is the point. You know, the notes just run bam right into each other. Now with staccato is the exact opposite of that. Staccato is when you are like, you know, you're essentially, it's like you're accenting every note and like cutting it off real short, you know. You know, and these are all just different kind of ideas that you can use to sort of make your music sound different at times. You know, it's sometimes maybe you want to say blah, 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 and then other times you want to go ba 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 ba. You know, and it's just how you want it to sound. But those are ideas that you're really gonna want to like be conscious of and kind of think about. You know, even just practice. You know, take, like if you've got some kind of like little thing that you practice or whatever, you know, any kind of thing like that, you know, practice it different ways. Don't always just practice it the same way all the time, every time, you know. You can do it like staccato like that. You know, and really accentuate the space between all your notes, or you can kind of legato it a little more. You know, and let everything run together. That last idea is a really cool one. It's called rubato, and rubato essentially is like you take a phrase and you have your starting point, you know, which maybe is like the first beat of a measure, and then you have an ending point, and all of the, you know, maybe it's between 1 and 3, you know, but the point is that in between that little space there, you don't really care about the rhythm. It doesn't matter. You just play, and you know, however it comes out is how it comes out, is essentially what rubato is. You know, like if we're doing, you know, we got something like this going. You know, we can play right in time. we can do like a little rubato phrase. The point of it is that you have like a target, probably like on the one, like on the first beat of some measure that's coming up, you're like, that's where I want to come back in and be on time again. But until then, between now and then, I'm just gonna play notes, and I don't care what, it doesn't have to strictly fit any sort of denomination of like, oh, those are 16th notes. You just play it. But really, that's about the last that I'm going to say about rhythm. In the next videos that I'm going to be releasing, we're going to talk and start getting into tonality, more the other half of music besides rhythm, the notes, the pitches. So thanks for watching, and if this video helped you, then subscribe for more music-y stuff. Thanks.